put Razor out mid, I think you're doing something wrong. I think you probably want a new mid hero like some
Ember?
Dragon Knight type hero.
What's the...
You can stand your ground against Brew, you have okay armor. Okay, Kunka.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think, what's the mindset behind picking Shaman over some of the alternatives that we debated? Is it just you want to push towers with the Brewmaster and Warlock ults? Is it... Because like, theoretically speaking, this is one of the best supports for Slark to play against, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge believer in the Shadow Shaman right now. Especially because like you compare him to his like counterpart in Lion, where both of them they stun, but Lion, he can just use all his spells, reset, go back in. Shaman just has to stand like Naya, and like you're usually dead by the
I mean, maybe it's like the laning surge with the high damage to help your Brew, and then I guess Brew Rasa is kind of a old day classic.
That is so old that it's so irrelevant. You're going really far back.
I didn't even play that, but yeah.
You probably weren't even playing Dota when that was popular.
I was not, so...
How did you know then?
You keep talking about old classics.
Oh, there you go.
When I played mid 8 years ago.
8?
12. Well, I mean, there you go. So
I'm into the idea of maybe the damage amplification on Hex.
Yeah,
because if Ben just wants to kill someone real quick, a quick Hex, even the Razor won't be able to stand up to that.
And the Fatal Bonds on top of it.
There you go. I mean, the team fight is terrifying out of Gaimin. All of their heroes are insane in team fight, whereas OG are just going to have to probably run away from most team fights because I don't even see what their initiation is if they wanted to start a fight on OG.
I mean, that's why they picked the Shadow Shaman, I think. It's just mainly, their lineup has no stuns, right? Other than the spend. Like, we need to pick a 4 now, and what our draft is missing is a lot of stuns, and tOfu's like, what about Shadow Shaman, guys? He has a lot of stuns.
What does he say when he shackles someone?
Naya, Naya.
Oh, yeah. I would say that I slightly prefer Gaming's draft over OG. But if OG throughout the mid game get to drag the game out where they can like take prolonged fights with like out being tanky, Slark Shard, you have the Bolt buff and Razor running around, I think they'll have a good shot in team fights to then like turn the game around.
Do you think Warcry is going to be a really important spell in this game? It looks like it's going to be. Like, you want to play the Warcry timing in the team fight, right? That is your one offsetting ability against Acid Spray, Venge, and the Razor. We talked about the Minus Armor strat. If that's such an important part of the Radiant strategy, is that concerning that there's this one spell on the enemy team that...
You have so much Minus Armor, you don't care about.
Is it like 8 seconds you have Warcry? Is it more...
We can theorize about it, but I want to see it be executed. So let's get ready for game number 1 as we pass it on to the PogChamp Pandas.
Welcome to OG versus Gaimin Gladiators, where you're going to be seeing some Nayatayataka. Shadow Shaman. No better person to talk about Shadow Shaman and whether or not that hero is any good than the man sitting beside me, the person who is a hipster when it comes to picking heroes. It's pretty much all he does. I assume since you retired, I'm not sure if you did this when you were still playing at the time, but...
No, I just played Undying Ogre.
Oh, okay. So you only played the same... So now you only play the trash
heroes. Yeah, because I played Undying Ogre for 6 goddamn years.
Yeah.
I play the rest of the pool now.
So I know you have played a lot of Shadow Shaman recently. Is this hero any good?
Oh, Shaman. Oh, yeah. This is I mean, he is a hero.
Yeah.
In the game of Dota.
Yeah, he's one of the heroes.
Is he good? No, not really.
All right.
There will be a time. There will be a patch when Shaman is gloriously back, like Freddy the Frog here. But is it this patch? I don't know. I mean, the buffs are pretty nice. Like the Hex amp damage, pretty significant.
A little bit of cast range increase on the C patch as well, an extra 50.
So he's got that going for him, which is pretty nice, you know? I don't know. I mean, here's the thing with Shaman. If you get him to 2nd to 3rd item, he is one of the most powerful supports in Dota. Now, the only question with Shaman is, how many deaths do you have to get there?
Okay.
The acceptable number... Okay, so basically you're looking at like between Aether Lens, Blink, your Shard, and Force Staff. That's what you're generally going for, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, 10 deaths it's what you want to have.
Okay, so it's 10 or below.
Yeah, that's like general benchmark. Like
Okay.
if I'm like 0 and 10, but I have Aether Lens Blink Shard, oh my god, I'm right in that pocket. I'm in that Shadow Shaman pure prime territory, you know. But if you got like 12 or 13, it's creeping up. It's creeping up. And if you've only got like 5 or 6, I mean, you're not playing Shadow Shaman, so you don't have those types.
Yeah, you must be confused. You're playing a different hero, obviously, if you only have that many deaths.
No, I'm serious. If I see Shadow Shaman, he's like 0 and 3. You're doing something wrong, dude. I don't know what you're playing. You think you're playing Rubik or something? No, you gotta get.
Why?
In there.
Because he's not getting in there?
Yeah, you gotta get in there, man. You gotta put your hands in the mud, stick them in there deep, and just get dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be afraid to die on this hero. That's why you pick him. Get in there with there's a reason this hero got the big base damage. Okay, you gotta use it. You gotta use what you get given in life, Cap. Okay, that's my Shadow Shaman rant. Anyway, let's enjoy this.
I've never seen Avery so animated in my life. Over a year of casting together, and this is the most excited I've ever seen you be.
How can you not be excited about this hero? He's amazing. Look at him. It's just a dude. Just a dude in a mask, man. Though he does have some magical powers, which, you know, does have some interesting lore. he does have some very interesting lore. Not PG lore.
Yeah.
I can't say it on stream, but
it's PG-13 lore, yeah.
no, it's R-rated lore. This hero is straight R-rated lore. I don't even know why. It's so unnecessary. I'll leave that up to the viewers to figure out. So what's going on in this game? We got a Queen of Pain. Signature classic. I mean, you got to win the lane. You got to win the lane. Trades onto the Shaman, but this is where the Shaman does. There's the Shackle for Dota.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hard to win the trades versus Slark, though.
It is kind of awkward.
The Shaman.
Now that I'm seeing it, this is not the best duo.
No, it's not.
Yeah, like they were talking about 4 positions that work well with Brewmaster. Shadow Shaman is not on the list. Rubik, right? Oh, you throw the brew at him, instant fade, bolt, boom.
I mean, this is just
Shadow Shaman doesn't do that for you.
The problem is your level 2 is Shaman is your weakest point. You need to get to level 3, and then you kind of need to get to 5 and 6.
Yeah, I thought you kind of needed to get to 3 items.
Look, man, as long as you can get there with like less than the 4 or 5 tests, you're on track. This is a tough lane, man. It's Vengeful Spirit, right? What are you really supposed to do? Venge is the new Rubik, man. You just can't trade versus hero. It's like, I think it's an auto lane win support in the current meta. At worst, you're going to go even with this hero if you know how to trade well. I don't know. It's a tough one for the Shaman to go up against, but that's why you got the Queen in this game. That's why you got the Warlock. Pretty much guaranteed 2 lane are going to at least go even or go your way. Gaimin are never going to fall short of some consistency in their draft. They'll be able to make it up elsewhere. I mean, Panda's also not the worst hero to have a rough laning phase. You can always come back and provide some decent utility in this game. Wear the fights out over the long duration with some tornadoes. So it's not the worst thing all consider, but a nice start for OG. And it is that Alchemist lineup that Seb loves his cheese.
Yeah, what is this Alk pickup anyway?
I mean, Seb, give this guy a chance to play Alk. He's going to play it.
Do you think it's actually good as a support right now? Because, you know, I saw people toying with it. I was seeing a little bit of Dota 2 Pro Tracker, some support Alchemist is a while back at the start of the patch.
Nice rotation. Easy support kill. Use this Razor Strength against. I think he's a pretty decent support. As long as you're not getting clobbered with some terrible lane matchup, he's fine. He gives you really good AoE minus armor. His stun's pretty damn solid. Berserk Potion, always good later on for the carry. He does become pretty tanky in all the early fights with ult. It's not an easy hero to bring down from support or core. Benefits from stacking, can always give you the Ags later. I mean, this hero has a lot going for him if he gets to play his game. And the Razor definitely helps because the Razor basically is just going to auto win this lane 1v2.
Yeah. That is I actually realized that I feel like both their side lanes are discount lanes. Because they have the Warlock, but not the Warlock Gyrocopter. They have Warlock Sven, which is just a worse version of Gyrocopter in the lane, specifically, right? You can't just, like, Fatal Bond, clear out the creep wave with Flat Cannon. Like, Cleave doesn't work quite as well. And then your Shadow Shaman Brewmaster is just a worse version of Brewmaster plus, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's a worse version of Shaman plus something else.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's ever said that.
There's some strong Shaman lanes out there, just because no one's found them yet.
Yeah, back in 2017.
That was a good year for Dota. Regen Rune gets denied. Does have one Fairy Fire here, but he will not get it off because the little...
It's the amp damage.
Yeah, it is the amp damage. That's right. It's not the year 2017. It's the year 2023. Shaman's back, baby.
Yeah. He's back to having a 110 mana cost on X. Oh my god.
It's a little expensive.
It's a...
I mean, that's why you buy some mangoes. I mean, honestly, he's gotten boots. He's almost level 4. He's only had 1 death. This is
a great Shadow Shaman game.
It's looking great.
He's level 3.
Right on track. I mean, we don't need to see the net
Slark's
worth.
about to hit level 6, you know, that's a...
Yeah, as long as you don't look at the net worth chart, you're doing great.
Or look at the levels, or...
If you look
Maybe if you just blindfold yourself, it's looking like a great game.
If you look at the lore, it's going great for tOfu, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a pig, it's a great Shadow Shaman.
Steps at the bottom of one of these charts.
Only the true lore masters know that one. Dyrachyo!
He's gonna live.
He's gonna live.
Because of the shackle. Yeah. Where are you going? Now you're in Shaman land, son.
With his big base damage is going to work on the Razor. Will be able to get that kill. Let's see if he lives. He will not. Seba's going to stun himself. Now, I would say that maybe they won that fight off of Upheaval.
Yeah, Warlock's doing some work right now, man. It's going to be a third for dyrachyo, who is supposed to die in this game.
Oh, TP back in. BCM wants to make sure there isn't a third kill. Off the mark there with the torrents.
He didn't get anything.
Cut through the trees.
And he has no boots on this Kunkka, so it's going to be a long trek back to mid. Man, well, it looked like it was another great rotation from Kitrak to get the 3-on-2. Just turns into a disaster. And that's time for Quinn to farm up on mid. Very valuable on this Queen who's trying to get to the later levels for ulti, and time for the Brewmaster to recover.
D-Quap. That's a great rune.
Yeah, that cost OG a lot, honestly. A lot of momentum. Like, if that goes their way, they're going to blow this game open. Instead, it kind of renormalizes here, and you get Ace almost up to level 6 here. Big deal for the Brew.
Like it's 0-2-3 build.
Look at this damage amp. Oh my god, it's out of control.
That's true. There was no way that BCM would have died there if it wasn't for the extra 5% damage amp.
There's absolutely
for 2 seconds.
That's a big kill. The Kunkka TP top got nothing, walked back to mid and instantly died.
Yeah,
that is some trouble for sure. Level 5 on the Shaman. Only 2 deaths. So.
Want to find Seb, don't want to dive into the tier 2 though.
So this is where the support alc feels kind of bad, because you're not up to this level 6, you're not super good on taking the fights, and your spells are nice, but they're not as easy to use on some of these like ranged supports or heroes with natural gap close, a la Earth Spirit Tuskar. I just have to run in and like hope it goes your way, but the enemy has a lot of time to react.
Got him.
Look at the spell amp with the golem.
Came in from behind. Sonic Wave, is it enough? They still have the tick damage of the dagger as well. Meanwhile, Quinn being controlled up by the boat, but was able to get the blink wave before MC was there, who's going to try and chase down Seleri instead. But again, tower in the way. So let me get a Shadow Shaman for that. Hefty rotation from OG. At least they keep BZM alive.
Man, OG are really TPing into these fights. Like, they really want to take any skirmish, but Gaimin are not giving them too much off it. Baiting out the rotations. That's an above average Shadow Shaman gang.
What, show up, get no kills, die?
I mean, if only the Shaman dies, yeah, it's above average.
If it doesn't bait his ally into dying as well.
It happens every now and then. Rune will not go.
Wow, okay. OG apparently do not want to give away that rune. Good God. They brought 4 heroes.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Now you're back on track, right? 4th death. Right where you want to be, right? Right in that shot box.
That's the sweet spot right there for a shot.
Another couple stacks for Yuragi here is he has had an absolutely free game on this Slark. Even collecting Lotuses in the meantime, hasn't even had to use them. Diffusal already up. He is going to be big because they don't really have good answers to the Slark this game. I mean, what is it? It's just Sven being too big and bad for him to man fight, but this is a great Slark matchup. We saw it first pick last round. You kind of just need to be big enough and maybe control him with some tornadoes, wear out the fight. I mean, Queen can be okay versus Hero in the long fights, but it's not great if he gets a really fast Echo Ags here. Like, Ags is going to wreak havoc on this gaming lineup. They don't have really good saves. They don't have natural early 4-stat fires. Celeri's thinking about a Midas here. The Shaman kind of has to get something early between the Shard and the Aether. You can sometimes rush the blink, but Force Staff Rush would be very defensive here. So Yuragi should have really free go in these early fights. Not a lot of early utility, I think, coming out, other than maybe Ace, but he also went Midas with double Bracer, so there's a lot of greed coming out from Gaimin. They want to go late here. I mean, this tempo is wide open if you're OG. Like, how fast do you want to accelerate this game right now? Are you building Auras? You're building Blade Mail and MC. You have Seb, who can pretty much buy anything, and you know that if you give Seb an opportunity to buy some utility, I mean, he's queuing it all up. This man loves his Auras.
True. True. I just realized they have 4 heroes that are platinum on the side of OG.
They learned that from ATF.
Not quite master tier, but...
You know, ATF wouldn't allow him to play anything else. Stuck with him.
Yeah, get that illusion.
Teach it who's boss. Plus 16. What's going on who here?
It's off the wards, but Seb is also level 6, so he's able to tank that damage pretty easily, so...
Yeah, it's also Greevil's greed here.
Yeah, his wards will, like many times with Shadow Shaman, his wards will be more of a detriment.
I respect that, though. You know, it's Arcane Rune. Meanwhile, Split for... what?
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Arcane Rune. So he can use the next round of wards a little bit sooner, feed away even more gold.
That's the Shadow Shaman way.
That's very efficient.
Look, you know, when you run an orchard, you gotta grow the trees. You gotta juice them up so they become big and bear ripe fruit, Cap.
Before you cut them down, or?
Before you harvest the fruit. And it's nice and sweet and juicy. So that's all the shaman's doing here. He's just planting the seeds. You know, so that fruit, I don't know where this metaphor is going.
I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if you were talking about a tree farm and then cutting them down, which the Sven can cut down the trees.
That's exactly where I was going. The shaman's growing the trees, the Sven's going to come and chop them down. And they're going to harvest some nice fruit in the meantime.
I don't think fruit trees are usually used for lumber, but that's fine.
I think Dyrachyo's caught up here, right? That's the moral of this story.
Yeah.
And that's what Sven always does. That's why Fear talks about it. A carry that can get demolished on lane and still be high net worth. It's pretty good. Fear would know all about that. This will be 4-on-1. He's gonna walk it off.
4-on-4 now as the jump in, back in. tOfu, he's actually gonna be caught in the middle of these 3 heroes. Despite the great Sonic Wave, they didn't have enough damage to push through, and it's going to be
going back in?
Oh, he went back in like that. Now it's cost him his life, but he does manage to pick up a kill. Added a second with BCM dying there as well, thanks to the Fatal Bonds. The Golem, the final member of the fight to die. 3-4-3. Who walked away the beneficiary of that one?
I mean,
it's got to be the Slark, right?
Yeah, it's all Yuragi all day, man. He is just living the life. Gets to clean up a fight, get like even more XP because his team died earlier. That's what you want from the one position here. And it's going to be such a fast Ags third item here. It's just going to be ridiculous what he can do with this. Like, look at the thing is, it's not about him versus the Sven, right? It's about Yuragi versus the supports, and at this point, the Quinn of Pain. These heroes are just going to feed. There's no save. There's not going to be any force stabs. You're just food on the plate for the Fishman right here.
Right. So the Slark versus the Shadow Shaman is the real matchup we're talking about here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the downside of the Shaman. He gives, but he takes.
Would you say that Shadow Shaman's third item
he just
is
blinked
bigger?
into him.
Oh, no.
Let's have a shield rune.
Upheaval might help. They actually managed to get the Hex after the Dark Pact immediately. He's being controlled.
You fool!
He does have the Shadow Dance. He'll get it off. The disables don't last long enough, but he's still caught inside the Upheaval, and he's going to jump out straight into the arms of dyrachyo. That is perfect for Gaimin Gladiators if they finish him off, and they do.
And another shackle.
Ooh, he gets another one. Gets out of the zap, but not the plasma field. He'll be brought down by mind control. But MC will bring himself down behind the tier 1 tower. 3-for-1 exchange. What a beauty for Gaimin Gladiators as they managed to bait in OG, diving in far too deep against another Upheaval. I mean, they got to beware of that.
This Warlock will definitely punish the lineup. It's the biggest tool Gaimin have to punish the clump of the overextension from OG. Especially if they get caught in a big bonds with like Sonic Wave on top. Even some of these Aether Shocks, pretty nasty. And yeah, I mean, Seb was lagging there. That might have just been the Shaman, bro. That's what it does to you. Lags your mind. You don't know what's happening anymore. He did work that fight.
It's like, I'm being shackled for too long. I must be lagging.
Remember this hero was in the game? Getting LGD flashbacks.
His build, he's actually maxing out Ether Shock, which I feel like most people I see max out Shackles. Am I wrong on
Nah,
that?
I usually...
4-2-4? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Hex is, like, the value points have gotten buffed, right?
Yeah.
You want the shock, especially if you're forward to farm and push waves. Like, that's the biggest factor here. Because this Hex, the nice thing about it is it's actually 2 seconds level 1 now. This is one of the biggest changes to the hero, in all seriousness, that makes him a lot more viable. A value point in Hex is a 2-second stun compared to 1.3. That's huge on a hero.
Despite the mana cost being so heavily increased,
it's just better.
It's still worth it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you need to get arcane boots. You're going to have 8 deaths to get there, but whatever. Like, you get there. And then your value point's really high. So this hero, honestly, he is a lot better than he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 7 deaths, so he's definitely...
He's right on track, man.
Yeah.
Right on track. And you got the Midas on the Warlock to pick up some of the slack. Seb doesn't want any of this. He's sick and tired of this monkey business right now. Also went for the early shard on the Alk, so he's already chucking out the Berserk Potion. Really nice with the Slark for the attack speed, right? And even regen.
50 attack speed, that's pretty hype. Basic Dispel.
Yeah, it's
like
the Dispel also.
Fatal Bonds.
Anything to get rid of Bonds this game. If you have the Slark and get rid of it, you maybe throw it on the Kunkka. There's 2 cores right off the bat. You have a swap for somebody else. You do have to deal with the Warlock this game. And it's going to be the Slark going in first. Why do these guys blade mail? Oh, we're going to see another death for the Shaman. I mean, see, that's good Shaman play right there. Take those creeps with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, push that lane. Now he has to chase this wave. That's value. That's a value death right there. Kitrak going to get caught out.
Yeah, or maybe baiting. BCM's going to be able to get a really nice torrent into wave, into boat now onto dyrachyo. Down to half health. MC on the other side. Yuragi captures him and gets yet another stat stolen away.
No mana on him. Resources not there for Gaimin to try and turn that if they were there. Maybe just result in a mid tower. I mean, this Venge is still king of these skirmishes right now. Very difficult to max. To fight the max wave right here, as Gaimin don't have a lot of consistent damage to pump in. It's kind of in the extended fights they're going to shine. Somebody gets swapped or there's a good initiation with boat. It'd be tough to take those fights. Throw out this Midas Warlock. 404 build, by the way. Not seen this in many points in Warlock's history.
Oh my god. You know, you've been playing Party Q with a lot lately? Slacks.
He does go this build.
404, rush hand to Midas.
That's true. This is a
No
slack.
healing ward, no utility. And Purge loses his mind every single time, and Slacks can look at this game and say, screw you, Purge. I'm just following the meta.
This is really one of those like graphs where you're at the top and the bottom of the curve. Genius or madness. Nobody knows. All I know is Ag Slark is up, and this is where it's going to start to inflict some damage as you're gone.
Big hit from PCM with the wave of terror. tOfu try and stay alive for as long as he can to help Ace get away. And with the Brewmaster splits, he will not. All of the pandas get caught.
Level 1 split, man. Look at the XP on this brew. You are feeling not being level 12 right now. That Midas did not get you there in time, and the greed is just not paying off for Gaimin as they continue to get routed on the map. And it's just fighting items coming in for... I almost said Nigma there because MC got to change that tag, my brother.
Yeah.
But OG, they're just racking up the pressure with the minus armor. If your Warcry's not there, you're going to melt. And Yuragi is collapsing your map right now. Another death for dyrachyo. This Slark is absolutely out of control right now, 10-1.
I love the momentum he took from getting those the kills, but also the stats he has from that bottom fight straight to the top lane. Just anybody he catches is dead.
I mean, this ward has just paid off time and time again here for OG as they just keep going to one side of the jungle to the other, cutting off where the Sven wants to go, and it's caught dyrachyo twice.
And now he can use all those stats to finish up Roshan with the Kitrak helping out, being able to...
Aegis Slark is where this lineup shines, right? Because you're pouring the buffs into him. You have Venge armor, you have the Vengeance or a buff up, you have the Berserk Potion, you have a lot of stuns you can throw in, you have Swap to bail him out. 2 lives on this guy when he can just run in. very difficult for Gaming's lineup to combat him. Because again, you want to take the long fight, but Slark punishes these lineups that want to take the long fight. Turns it against you. He did take point in chat.
Surprised he didn't go stats.
Yeah, a little disappointed in Seleri here, but I mean, what can you do? He's also not.
He's not rushing refresher. Yeah, well, he is fatal bonding waves, but
yeah, I mean, you got to upheaval the waves, and then
he's also not
steal the farm,
buying the shard and sitting there spamming it over and over again and saying "Poop boys."
Well, we didn't have to bring that up. High level Warlock gameplay.
Uh-oh. Splitting 4. He's gonna have to use it if he hopes to survive. The evasion is doing a lot of work for him, and his mana will stay up, but it's going to feel terrible having to use another split defensively.
He's still trying to get to Midas. This is just such a slow Midas or Radiance buildup, right?
Yeah.
Like when you go this Midas Radiance build on Brew, you want it really fast. That's the strength of it. You dominate the lane, get the Radiance up pretty quickly, and then all these fights are better. Your ult's stronger, you're farming the map. Here it's just going to be mega delayed. Another initiation that should be pretty easy to chain.
Man, the combination of Kunkka plus Alchemist support is pretty nice. Like the guarantee that you can get an unstable concoction on somebody after they're X'd.
Decent synergy here, and it's just going to be utility all the way as the Lotus Orb's coming out for Seb. This game's out of control for Gaimin. And I'm not really sure how you pull it back in the short term, because
they know dyrachyo's hiding away in the trees here. Seb spotted out, called out the reinforcements, and dyrachyo will fight for his life, but it won't last very long.
He's gonna tip. I mean, what is this tip format? This is why I hate Seb. Come on, man. This is dirty tip, bro. This is dirty. This is unnecessary tippage.
Yeah. Seb. Did Seb ever tip you?
Yeah, I mean,
in a couple of games.
Come on, man. You know,
I was just asking you. I mean, you're the one who said you hated Seb. That was a little extreme.
Well, I'm saying philosophically now. I actually hate
philosophically.
Just saying, you know, in a Dota game, it's so annoying to play. It's like, who tips like that? So BM.
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
I know, but
it's trying to get under your skin. I've got you.
Still trying to get this Radiance. I'm not going to let you finish that. Still trying to get this Radiance, by the way. My God.
Yeah.
This is tough. This is not an item you want delayed this much, especially in a game.
Is he going to get it here? Is he going to die? Oh, he's going to die.
Evasion.
He's not going to complete that Radiance.
4 again.
Too many stuns. The Torrent Storm, if it lands again, might be able to finish him off. Oh,
wait, he didn't get it?
Into a Torrent Storm, and he dies.
I actually think he had an opportunity to cast it. I mean, he doesn't want to cast it, though, right? It's like, what is your fight if you just use it here? Another Tormentor steal as well. You already have the shard up on the Slark, so you have a Depth Shroud save on top of everything for when this Sven goes in.
So they can get it to the Venge, or... Is that the only person who doesn't have... Oh, Razor. Razor also doesn't have the static link that pulls you. Man, with the what is it, Tidal Wave? And that shard on Razor? That could be pretty nasty.
I mean, this is a very powerful lineup. Give him an early game like this. They just run away with it. I mean, that's what Minus Armor does. Just gives you all the objectives here. You can run the map, and then the Slark had such a good laning phase. Never looked back. Still searching for answers if you're gaming. It's probably going to be this BKB on dyrachyo. You're going to have to take some fight with it, and you have to set the fight up in a way where you play around the Warlock spells, because that's really your best punish. Like, you bait a clump, you bait a long fight, you survive, and you go to the other side of it with some upheaval and a Bonds. The Bonds, though, is probably getting dispelled, right? You have BKB on MC here. You don't really care if you get Bonds on the Venge. I mean, you're just going into Ags here for Kitrak. You might even have 2 lives at a certain point, and the Slark is guaranteed dispel. Lotus Orb for Seb is coming out soon.
Literally the only fights that have gone well for Gaimin Gladiators is when OG dove top, got upheavaled for the full duration. Yeah. When they dove mid,
at like
got
9 minutes
for the full duration. It's like, that's it. Only 2 fights that have gone well for Gaimin Gladiators in this entire game. So yeah, they're gonna have to keep playing around the Warlock spells. Hope for some sort of overextension from OG.
Where's this Radiance, man?
Well, where's the third item?
Okay, there it is.
Shadow
Thank you.
Shaman.
It was right on cue, 25 minutes. Well, I mean, he's got the 10 deaths.
He's
We're right there. Okay, if we just get him, the shard.
He gets the
he's in
shard,
pocket.
then that
He's
means
in the pocket.
in these
10 deaths. This is right where you want to be. But this is it, man. I'm telling you, like 1 or 2 more, and you've gone too far. The game is on a knife's edge. You think I'm joking? Like, this is what happens in the Shaman games. You get the 10 deaths, but then you end the game 10 and 10. So this is the moment. Seize your moment. Did go the Force Staff, by the way, over the Blink or the Shard, which, you know, more defensive here, but you kind of need Force Staffs on this game inside. And Seleri thinks he's a carry, so you ain't getting it from him. But some of the long fight items are coming out. The Lotus Orb done, the Midas is paying off. You got the Radiance on the Brew, and you got your Ags on the Queen of Pain, so the fight goes very long. You get multiple spells off. Your ults go to work. Things are coming together for Gaimin right now if they can make it happen. Bloodthorn on the Slark, though, that is absolutely terrifying here because you have the 1 Lotus and the 1 Force Staff to bail out the core that Yuragi goes on. Also, he's just mega fat. I mean,
he's huge.
Dear God. He's 11 and 1.
He's got
10
12
of those
extra agility.
might be the Shaman. We can't know, though.
Yeah, I mean, the part of this game is just the Slark
heard
has such a good laning phase. Where did that happen? Ward trapped. Can they do anything with that? The Sonic Wave, Fatal Bonds combo onto these heroes looks okay, but the damage, they haven't even managed to finish up this one support yet. Dyrachyo, he's looking to finish off Seb, might be able to get him. Oh no, that's done. They separate a little bit. Now MC's gonna start draining away the damage from Dyrachyo.
He's gonna live.
He might die. Oh, the Depth Shroud is gonna be able to keep him up, and he'll zap down Dyrachyo.
Seb is just in your base right now. Also shackled.
Shadow Shaman, death number 11. It's coming, Avery.
Yo, this Bruto. This Bruto kind of going ham.
Is he? I don't think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was. You know, I mean, you can only do so much. He was going ham. Well, these fights are just weird. I feel like Gaming need to play them a bit slower and kind of stay together, but that's a second fight in a row where Quinn just jumps super deep to try and finish off a support, and then he just gets bow comboed into oblivion and insta dies. I don't know. The read is just a little off for Gaming right now in terms of what their cores want to do. It's desynchronized. Ideally, you want to also take a fight where you can get this Lotus Orb onto the Sven so that Link gets reflecting. You just kill the Razor. That would be ideal. Yeah, very discoordinated, but that is also what this OG lineup can do to you, right? They run in from different angles. The Alex jumping somebody. The fight started with a Hex wards on Kitrak, which isn't really ideal because he doesn't care if he gets gone on.
Yeah.
And then your Slark coming in from a different angle and forcing it when you can't really go on him. So if these fights are very chaotic, OG are very happy.
Okay.
Another example where, I mean, you just can't go in like this.
There's that Force Staff, though, to save Quinn.
Yeah, but it's 10 stacks. Every time this happens, it's free Agi for Yuragi and just powers him up on the map. He's already level 22. That's a fast level 20, an extra stack. Effectiveness here. Already got another item coming out, basically.
Well, that just leaves Roshan. 30 seconds till that's up. If Gaimin Gladiators give that up, which is very likely, especially since now BKB, TP out, canceled by the swap, meaning OG have 65 seconds to work with. More than that, really, because with the BKB on cooldown for 75 seconds, there's no way Gaimin Gladiators can fight.
Well, that's Roche for sure if it spawns here. OG just won. They just won blood, man. No reason to give anything on this map right now when you have Yuragi in God mode. They'll just jump into 4. Yeah, where's your Hex now?
Lotus Orb. Oh, tried to go for the Torrent. That's not going to land.
I'm actually surprised the Shaman got out of there.
Force Staff have saved a lot of lives.
Pretty good item.
It feels like they're just sweeping back wave after wave, but OG is an ocean. They're big and deep. They've got 16,000 net worth lead over Gaimin Gladiators, and it's about to go to Daytime Roshan, which OG obviously have a pretty clear advantage. tier 2 up and the outpost there.
Yules for Quinn. That just feels bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants it because he wants to go in deep and kind of create some chaos and like stall out the fight. And he needs to live through the bow combo and these Slark pounces. It's the cheapest item you can get to do that outside of Force Staff. And you're not building Force Staff here. But you would really want just to go like more damage or BKB or something that's going to scale better. Because this Yule is not scaling this game. You're coming back down straight into a world of pain.
Do you think that literally the difference between Yules and BKB in his, he just needs the item faster? Because the difference gold-wise isn't that big.
He just needs it faster, and I mean, theoretically, when you're Yules, the Slark can't hit you.
Sure.
A little upside. I mean, you can use it offensively too, but I don't think
done for Kitrak. Double lives for this Venge, who's going to look for the swap into the pounce. Beautiful
he only had it.
That is too much control. Now, dyrachyo can't even get a good initiation, immediately countered by the Depth Shroud, and dies in an instant. As MC comes swarming in with his BKB off the Razor. See Seleri and Ace are both going to be hunted down, so it's just little Shadow Shaman who survives.
Wow. Something. But
Well,
that'll be
don't need Roshan if you could just go high ground.
18-1. Slark. Yeah, just way too easy of a game, right? Honestly, this has been the Yuragi show, but for me, it kind of goes back to this Venge. I don't think this is a hero in the current meta that you can give smooth of a game to. That's just going to be it. I mean, Kitrak just won the lane so damn hard that this Slark just rolled the game over. And the thing that happens with these Venge lineups is when you run the game over in the first 20 minutes, it's very hard to come back because this hero, you just don't have the damage against it. And it's pumping up the carry. So it's creating a carry differential that's really hard to surmount. I think it's a very